Let's keep it real for a moment, brother. You've probably noticed a strange pattern play out. The harder you try with her, the less she seems to care. The more you bend over backwards to prove your love, the quicker she slips through. And the second you make her the center of your world, she starts acting like she doesn't even need it. It feels unfair, doesn't it? You're the one being loyal, respectful, and consistent, yet somehow you're the one getting ghosted. Meanwhile, the guy who barely replies has her chasing him down. That's why this talk matters. Not because women are the problem, they're not. The real issue is that you've been handed the wrong rulebook. Until you learn what actually sparks attraction, you'll keep replaying the same painful cycle. So today, let's break down why chasing never works. Why becoming the man she respects changes everything. First, chasing kills mystery. Think about the last time you got a brand new phone or game. At first, you couldn't put it down. But after a while, you knew every feature, every button, and the excitement wore off. That's what happens when you constantly pursue a woman. She already knows you're available. She already knows how much you care. And she already knows she has your attention. That certainty feels safe, but it kills attraction. Women don't lose interest because they want chaos. They lose interest because there's no tension, no curiosity. A man who doesn't chase leaves her wondering, what's on his mind? Why isn't he blowing up my phone? That little uncertainty is what fuels attraction. Second, attention is currency, and most guys spend it like it's worthless. In today's world, attention is the most expensive thing you can give. Everyone's fighting for it. Social media, likes, DMs, endless scrolling. But here's the truth. When you hand yours out freely, it loses value. Imagine a guy who replies instantly, comments on every post, reacts to every story. At first, she might smile, but deep down she thinks, if his attention is this easy to get, does it even matter? But when you're intentional, when your attention is rare, it feels powerful. A single compliment from a man who values himself hits harder than endless flattery from someone desperate. Don't spend your attention like loose change, treat it like gold. Third, purpose is magnetic. Here's a truth most men ignore. She doesn't want to be your purpose. She wants to join a man who already has one. When your entire world revolves around her, when you abandon your goals, your friends, your grind, she feels the pressure. Not love, pressure. But when she sees a man locked in on his mission, building himself up, and sees her presence as a bonus, not his lifeline, that's when she feels something powerful, respect. The man quietly building his future, too busy leveling up to text her every hour, that's the man she won't forget. Fourth, validation can kill attraction. Of course, everyone wants to feel appreciated, but when you're constantly seeking her approval, you drain her respect. The guy who tells her she's beautiful 10 times a day, agrees with everything she says, and hides his real opinions just to keep the peace. He doesn't come across as loving. He comes across as insecure, and nothing makes a woman lose interest faster than a man who doubts his own worth. Real attraction comes when you validate yourself. You stand by your beliefs even if she disagrees. That shows strength, not neediness. Fifth, boundaries create desire. Picture two. One is always available. She cancels, he forgives, flakes, he reschedules. The other is kind but firm. Respects his time, he moves on. Which one does she respect? Exactly. The first thinks he's being loyal, but to her, he's showing weak. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're doors that make what's inside valuable. When you respect yourself enough to say no, to stand your ground, to walk away if necessary, that's when she realizes you're different. Sixth, emotions need space. This is where most guys mess up. They smother too quickly, pour their heart out on the second date, over-explain every feeling, pressure her for answers, but that kills the natural rhythm of attraction. Think of fire. If you pile too many logs on at once, its attraction needs oxygen. She needs space to wonder, to miss you, to lean in herself. When you stop forcing things and let it breathe, it grows naturally. Seventh, presence beats pressure. Needy men hover, over-text, and constantly demand reassurance. Present men, they listen, they look her in the eye. They carry calmness, not chaos. Pressure feels heavy, like you're asking something. Presence feels grounding, like you need nothing. You're simply there. And that's what she remembers. Not the gifts or the texts, but the way she felt steady, safe, and alive around you. Eighth, self-respect is the foundation. At the end of the day, it comes down to this. How much do you value? Because if you don't respect your time, your goals, your energy, she won't either. Self-respect isn't coldness or cruelty. It's carrying yourself like a man who knows his worth. A man who doesn't beg, doesn't settle, doesn't chase breadcrumbs. And when you live this way, everything shifts. Suddenly, she sees you not as another guy chasing her, but as the man she wants to win. So here's the truth, brother. Attraction isn't about chasing, overgiving, or proving yourself. It's about becoming the man who values his energy, the man whose purpose is bigger than her, the man who stands tall without her validation. Women don't fall for men who chase. They fall for men who lead. And the moment you stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself, that's the moment everything changes.